Here we go, here we go, here we go. My voice is cracking, boy. What a difference a week makes. This is I Love You Say It Back. It's a podcast. I'm your host, Vic D. Let's get funky. Wow. Thank you so much for listening to another episode. Again, I Love You Say It Back. It's a podcast. I'm your host, Vic D. And if you're watching on YouTube, surprise, motherfucker. What? I said this a second ago. What a difference a week makes. If you were watching 1 week ago, exactly 1 week ago, I was sitting on this side right here on a little step stool ladder that I was painting the edges with and doing all that stuff. And now I said this, I was like, we're doing a lot of the prep work and we are now moving in. This is still not a finished product, by the way. This is still gonna, like, that wall was completely white. The wall behind me we were barely painting that one. I don't know if you guys can see over there, but that wall was white as well. So we just went 3 black walls. The one that I'm sitting in front of is still white, so we're deciding what we even want to do with that one. But again, what a difference a week makes. Thank you for riding with us as we are kind of in the, under construction, right? But again, I'm really proud of this so far. This panel wall came out, I'm super happy and proud of how this came out. We got plants in here. We got the paint's looking a lot better. One thing that I will say, and a lot of you guys have given me shit for it, and some of you guys have said just clean it up and it looks fantastic. This flooring it's filthy. So this place used to be, or this particular office used to be like a tire shop. So I think, I went out, got some degreaser, cleaned up a couple spots, and I was like, you know what? We'll get a rug for the moment, clean up the area outside of it, and I think we'll be okay for the time being. But I mean, again, I'm proud of the progress that we've made so far. So, again, thank you for riding along, and what a fun episode do I have lined up for you. It's funny because while we're in the middle of this remodel or whatever you want to call it, I keep telling myself, I'm like, hey, don't worry about how the episodes come out. Don't worry about it. Just make sure that you keep people updated. Make sure that you keep people informed about what's going on and why it might sound a little different. Segments might be a little different. And I'm like, hey, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. And what I've learned about myself, I've known this. I don't care about too many things. Like, I'm not a perfectionist when it comes to a lot of things. But when it comes to what I know I'm good at, what I'm comfortable with, what I do, this is what I do. Whether it's radio or podcasting or emceeing work or just public speaking, this is what I do. I can't not care about it. I went in and I was like, last episode, I was just do a quick episode, just get it out. And it was shorter than most of them. But I was like, I can't not care about the content. Like, I listened to it and then I'm disappointed in myself. I'm like, you're supposed to not care. You're supposed to just be like, hey, it's a maintenance episode. Just get it out there. But to say like, who cares? It's never going to work. So, and I've tried to do that for this one. And I was just like, you know what? No, here we go. Full page of notes, lots of stuff going on. And I want to dive right into it. And of course, before we do, I want to remind you, like, subscribe, download, listen, tell your friends, rate the podcast, subscribe to the podcast. What's the other one? I got it. Follow, rate, review, subscribe, like, listen, follow us on IG, follow us everywhere at ILY Say It Back Podcast. All these things make a difference in how, whether it's the algorithm for Apple or Spotify, they're like, oh, people are paying attention to this, they're reviewing it, and it pushes it up. So it's going to help us grow. And thank you for doing that if you haven't already done so. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell anybody you know. We're growing. I mean, I know this is going to be a pain for some people to hear, but like, this thing is growing. And I have some exciting news about next week's podcast. We landed our first, for me, it's big, out of town podcast. I just messaged these people I'm a huge fan of their product. And when I tell you what it is, it'll be no surprise especially if you followed me with my radio days and especially through COVID. This is one of my favorite products of this particular thing. I messaged him on Instagram. I said, hey, I got a podcast. Would you guys be interested? Didn't hear back from him for like 2 days. And I was like, I shoot and miss with a lot of these. I shoot them with businesses or certain artists or whatever. No big deal. You just move on. And I didn't think I was going to hear back from them. 2 days later, they're like, hey, sorry, we just had to hear back from the boss to talk to you, and we'd love to do it. So next week, the plan is to go out there to do the podcast. So stay tuned. Make sure you're following us on our socials. At ICYDK Pod. I'm at VicD Radio. Let's get into the show. I wanted to talk about this because this is one of my favorite topics. Truly, like, first of all, it's one of my favorite weeks. We had the college basketball national championship, and that was a great game. Sprinkled a little bit on the Florida Live plus 155. Happy about that. But it's also Masters Week. There's other things going on too, but Masters Week is, look, I know golf is kind of a niche sport. I understand that there's not a lot of you guys who play it or whatever, but one thing that we can all relate to is one of the perks of winning the Masters, the golf tournament that's starting this week. One of the perks of winning the Masters is you get to pick dinner for everybody. So say if you win it last year, you get to choose dinner for the Masters dinner for this year. And I mean, you could pick anything you want. People have gone as fancy as like the Wagyu, Japanese Wagyu. Some people go like Tiger Woods did like chicken fajitas and like basically like Spanish rice. I'm assuming that they have some of the top chefs in the world. They bring them in and they say, what do you want? And they make it for you. You get to choose whatever you want. That's like this, to be honest with you, that's such a sweet little perk. Like, I wish I would have started golf earlier just so I could have a chance to win a Masters and pick whatever dinner I want. That's incredible. You could pick dinner for all these champions. So this year, it's funny because Scotty Scheffler is the guy who won last year. Second time winning. They say that this was the cheapest Masters dinner that had, I think, ever. As far as like, I think he went sliders, he went like firecracker chicken, he did some Texas chili. He's a Texas boy. So it doesn't really matter. You can go as fancy as you want. You can go, again, you win the freaking Masters. So it got me thinking, this is one of my favorite topics. And I don't know if this changed from last year, but I love, because I think we can all relate. Like, I'm going to ask you right now, if you won the Masters or if you won some kind of tournament where they bring in top chefs and they ask you, hey, Vic, hey, Susie, hey, Stephanie, hey, John, what do you want to eat? You get to pick dinner for everybody. Here's what I would go. Put some thought into this. I want you to think about that for yourself, and I'll tell you what mine is. So I would start. So the way they set it up is you get appetizers, and from what I saw on the sheet, they pick like 3. So we'll go with 3. One first course, one entree, and then we'll go dessert just to keep it short and simple, and some sides in there. So my appetizers, I would start with some sliders. Got to have the sliders in there. A little bit of whatever sauce they put inside of like In-N-Out sliders, right? In-N-Out sliders. Got to have some mozzarella sticks with marinara sauce, obviously. And then there's these taquitos that are just fantastic with this like Southwest sauce. And some of you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. And folks, if you're thinking like, hey, Vic, that sounds a lot like a triple dipper from Chili's, you damn right. That's what I would choose. That's because that's exactly where I got the inspo from. If you're wondering what I would want to eat for my Masters dinner, for the appetizer at the very least, it would be a damn near a Chili's triple dipper. You give me sliders, you give me mozzie sticks, you give me taquitos. Only thing missing is the chicken crispers. And guess what? I'm not limited to 3. I can do that as well. So I would go sliders and fries. That's implied. Sliders, taquitos with the Southwest sauce, mozzie sticks with the marinara sauce, and then honey chipotle crispers. And yeah, I know it sounds a lot like a Chili's triple dipper because it is. Yeah, it is. So for my first course, I'm not sure even how they name these things, but I would go chili and cornbread. That'd be the first thing that they bring us out. Chili and cornbread from no specific place, just make it good. And then for my main course, I would go, you got to go like tomahawk steak with the bone and everything. You got to have that motherfucker like you're about to kill somebody with it. I would go tomahawk steak, asparagus, mac and cheese, more cornbread, and barbecue chicken with a baked potato, with all the stuff that you like, right? Yeah, some people like cheese, some people like sour cream, some people like chives, whatever you like, all right? Have the little smorgasbord right there. So that'd be my master's dinner. And I think I said this last year, I'm remaining consistent with my dessert. I love my best dessert. My favorite dessert is a really simple one. I think people try to overdo dessert too often. Like, dessert should be simple, right? If you've been in Bakersfield and you haven't been to Rosemary's, and I think it's called the Tim Special, let me tell you what it is. It's a hot, warm apple pie with vanilla ice cream, and it is as simple as it gets, but it could not be better. Maybe the only thing that I would consider would be going back to Chili's, would be that molten lava cake thing where they put the ice cream scoop on top and then you crack that shell and then you break the bread and then the molten lava just oozes out. Maybe I'll throw that in there. Give a couple people some options, but there wouldn't be any seafood. There'd be none of that. But we wouldn't overthink dessert. We wouldn't do any, there's certain things that just don't miss. And we'll talk about dessert next episode because I have another thing like ice cream or sundae, banana splits, whatever. Overrated. We'll talk about that another time. But that would be my master's dinner. I want you to think about it like, damn, what would I want? Like, I think it's such a fun topic where you like, hey, we're going to bring in the top chefs in the world and you can make whatever you want. It could be as childish. Like, it could also be sophisticated. There was some guys from like Spain who won. They're like making dishes from their home country. I would maybe bring in my mom to show them how to make sopes too. Sopes is my favorite food. And I don't like sopes from restaurants. Like all you Mexican restaurants who make sopes, those are not like, I'm not saying they're not legit sopes. I'm saying they don't taste the same. Like I'd bring in my mom and I'd be like, ¿le puedes enseñar cómo hacer los sopes? ¿Cómo? And then we'd split that. So there you go. Master's dinner, again, as fancy as or as simple as you want to make it. But I think that's such a perk to be able to like, you are the person. It's also a lot of pressure. Imagine like, oh, you are responsible for all these bougie. These are millionaires. I mean, you're picking food for Tiger Woods, for Phil Mickelson, for all these guys. But the tournament itself, fantastic. One of the greatest weeks in golf. I don't lock in. I lock in on the majors. A few other like random tournaments that, just have some high profile names. But this is absolutely one of my favorite sporting events, period. I'm talking about it's up there with the Super Bowl, the World Series, the NBA Finals. Masters is right up there. So let's enjoy it. Next thing, I saw a study or something that came out. They basically said like 70% of men are more loyal to their barbers than they are to their spouse or to their significant other. And the spark, the outrage, how, whoa. It's actually a very simple explanation. And I'm here, and look, this is coming from a guy who I don't consider myself to have a barber anymore, like a guy that I go to every week like I used to. I have long hair, folks. I don't go to the barber the same way that I did years ago. But I'll tell you, before I grew out my long hair, again, I'm not a long hair guy. I've always had my hair short. This was just a COVID joke that just clearly has gone too far. But it's very easy to explain why men love their barbers so much and why they're loyal to them. The only reason I ever switched barber, I think I've had two like major barbers. One I was put on in high school, and then I was with that guy, and then he ended up like leaving the shop. I lost contact with the guy. I think he like might have left town. I don't know. Lost contact with him. played baseball with this guy. And I was like, damn, bro, that's a nice haircut when he took his hat off. And he's like, oh, I'll put you on, my guy, you know? Went to that guy for a few years until I started growing this thing out. And it's simple. Like, I think vibes play such a big role in, I wish I had my barber homies on here for this segment, but I think it's actually pretty simple. I think the conversation's easy. I think once you get to know someone in that, like, you're sitting in a chair, think about the environment. You're sitting in a chair where conversation just flows naturally. You got TVs up. A lot of times it's on sports. So it's a lot of the same people that you would kind of relate to and hang out with in real life anyways. At least those are the kind of barbers that I've found myself with. But they're not pressing you. They're like your friends, but you only see them once every week or two. And they talk about like, they're more like, it's hard to be like, I'm going to go find somebody else, because they know what you like. They know how to cut your hair the way you like it. Going to a new barber and explaining the kind of haircut, you got to pull up pictures. You got to show them this. I want to look like Daddy Yankee. Remember that ridiculousness? How stupid did you feel saying that? But your barber, the one who's already done it because you already explained it to him, is like, nah, I got to explain this once and then we're good to go. The conversation just flows, not pressing you about, this and then. It's just like, I don't know. It's easy. I definitely understand why people are loyal to their barbers. They become friends. You see them once every week. And I think that's really the secret, where it's like, oh, I'm not going to overdo this. Sometimes you get tired of each other. And frankly, how good do you feel when you leave the barbershop? How good? Pretty damn good. You go in there like a 2.5 confidence and you walk out of there with like a 9.5 confidence. That's a mega boost. You think, and you look at that man in the eyes and you're like, you did this. You're responsible for making me look and feel this damn good. So if you're telling me that, oh, I don't understand why men are so loyal to their barbers, they know how they like it. They don't have to explain. They ain't got to, like, hey, I've done this for a long time and we're going to get along just fine. Not a shocker at all. And I think any fella who understands, ladies, you got the same thing going on with your stylist. So it's really just, you just don't go as frequently. What else do we got here? Okay, so I got a couple things that I want to touch on after. I went to Long John Silver's this week, and I got to be honest about a couple things. So I posted on my Instagram, if you saw it, by the way, at VicD Radio, for our new listeners. If you're not following on there, post just about every day about everything. Went to Long John Silver's and I said, surprise, motherfuckers, I'm the one keeping Long John Silver's alive. And I got ahead of it, because if you post at Long John Silver's, I can't tell, like, every time it's going to be like, so you're the one who's keeping it alive. It's like 12 different people sending you the same joke. I was like, you know what? Let me just tell people, yes, I'm the one who's keeping Long John Silver's alive. Who's keeping Arby's alive? I don't know. That is, I don't know. That's probably illegal activities type stuff, because nobody's ever says, let's go to Arby's. But I will hand up, I'm keeping Long John Silver's alive. I'm doing my part. And I hope that you guys all start to do your part, because it's getting a little expensive. But I will say that it comes with a price. And I'm not just talking about financially. Long John Silver's takes a mental toll. Let me explain. I walk into Long John Silver's, and first of all, I can't do it every single day. You know how this is some foods you're like, I could eat a burger every day. That wouldn't be a problem. I could have In-N-Out literally at least 5 times a week, and I would not get tired of it. I go to Long John Silver's, and I know it's like a little treat for me. But I also know that I'm not going to go back for at least another, I'm talking about like a month or two at least. And we're talking like, it's sometimes more. But the point that I'm getting at is Long John Silver's like target audience or demographic, or the people that they serve, are not like it's not that fun, man. I'll be honest with you. The place is kind of depressing. They play like some music that is not, they're playing like old NSYNC stuff. I was like, what the hell's going on here? Which if the vibe was a little bit different, you're like, hell yeah, let's roll and seek. Hey, you know, everybody's having a good time. But then you look out into, I think I took a video of this. I'll post it. The people who go to Long John Silver's are minimum 45 to like 75-year-old white, sometimes severely overweight people who just feel like they're, like, for lack of a better word, like they feel like they've given up. You know, like I walk in there and I'm like, I like to think of myself like I'm pretty full of life. I'm pretty, you know, excited about the future and everything. And I look forward to a lot. It feels like these people gave up. Like, we don't look forward to anything anymore. You know what we look forward to? Long John Silver's, probably like once a week. And it's older people. They got like the weird haircuts. The people who go in there do not fit, like, and I go in there mostly by myself. I like to eat at the place. By the time it gets home, it's not the same. It just doesn't hit the same. But I go there, I eat. I'm in the middle of all these people who are not like myself, not like my friends, not like anybody I'd hang out with. And it puts me into a mild depression. So when I talk about there's a price to pay, it's like, oh, I know what I'm getting myself into with Long John Silver's. I know I'm going to be mildly depressed for about a week after, thinking about like, why do I love it so much? The food's fantastic. And it doesn't make sense. A lot of things that, like, for example, In-N-Out, I love. And everybody understands why we love In-N-Out, because you love it too. I don't understand how people don't love Long John Silver's. Or at least maybe they're not open to trying it. And by the way, I get the chicken. People are like, you don't like fish. Why are you going there? I never get fish. I absolutely do not get fish. The breaded chicken is one of the best items out there in fast food. But it does come with a price. I do walk out of there questioning a lot of life decisions. I'm like, damn, Long John Silver's, Vic, are you sure? Are things going that bad? But you know what, the little secret, don't tell anybody about this. But I almost see it like as a little bit of a reward. Hey, you've been working really hard on this podcast studio. Hey, treat yourself. Don't tell anyone, but to me, it's a little reward. Let's get into, we're bringing back some segments that, you know, now that we're moving into the studio, we're kind of revamping some of our stuff here. And this is one of my favorite segments from when I had my radio show. This is called, These Are Fun Facts. And here we like to call them In Case You Didn't Know. And I still haven't figured out or even looked into how to add the little pad, because the same way I could do this, I could add In Case You Didn't Know. Just have to figure out. So if you know, and right off the top of your head, feel free to reach out and let me know. But that's cool. We'll do that one for now. These are 3 fun facts. We're going to go through them quick. Let's go. All right, here we go. In case you didn't know, the Earth actually takes 365 days and 6 hours to complete a trip around the sun. But for convenience, we ignore the 6 hours, and every 4 years, they accumulate to a full day, which is when we add the 29th day, creating leap year. In case you didn't know, it's a little soundbite that we had, which we'll have in sooner than later. In case you didn't know, 1,000,000 seconds is equivalent to 11 days. This one blows my mind, folks. Listen to this. I'm going to repeat this. 1,000,000 seconds is equivalent to 11 days. Whereas 1,000,000,000 seconds is equal to 31 years. You want to talk about the difference between millionaires and billionaires? Billionaires could spend millions of dollars like every day, and it would take years to run through it all. So incredible, the amount of money and just the amount period that, or the differences between 1,000,000 and 1,000,000,000. I'm going to say this one more time. 1,000,000 seconds is equivalent to 11 days. 1,000,000,000 seconds equivalent to 31 years. In case you didn't know. Here's another fun one, because you could play along in your head with this one. In case you didn't know, if you were to write out every number, 1, 2, 3, etc., you wouldn't use the letter B until you reached 1,000,000,000. In case you didn't know. So those are your fun facts. We call them In Case You Didn't Know. So we'll get the soundbite right, I promise. When Don't quote me on that. We got other things going on with this studio right now, but let me cross off and see where we're at. I don't do a lot of good news segments because I just think it's kind of cheap. I think people who got nothing to say, who are like scared to like really jump out and say anything, do the good news segment because it's safe. It's like, oh, who's gonna really shit on a good news segment? And it's like, let me be the good guy. That's all I got. It's like that. But I did love this one, and this is one that I actually had a discussion with my sister about it, and we were talking about it. So I'm pulling up the article right here. By the way, it's starting to get warm as I'm looking for this. And I'm not looking forward to summer at all. I'll tell you that right now. Okay, here we go. This is the good news segment. So listen to this, and I love this for a number of reasons. There was an article that came out that said that women over 40 are having more babies than teen moms for the first time ever. So women over 40 are having more babies than teens. One, it's good because teenage pregnancy, especially in Bakersfield. Here's a little fun fact. If you're not from Bakersfield and you're wondering, you want to get an idea, there's a lot of stereotypes. There's a lot of things. Unfortunately, most of it kind of true. But we had a really bad teenage pregnancy problem, I'd say, the last for a long time. And I'd like to think that I played a big role in slowing that down. For a lot of you guys, again, who are new, before I did radio, I taught middle school sex ed. So look, and this guy right here, yeah, kind of weird, kind of a random, how about that, friend, in case you didn't know. But I did do that, and I thought that I was damn good at it. Like, I think is because at the time I was younger, so I was only a few years older than these kids. So I noticed that they would ask me questions that I remember my sex ed teacher was he was an older gentleman. And there's some things that I just felt like, I was like, maybe not, you know? But I felt like I did a good job of just being forward. One, being forward, being authentic, being honest, being brutally honest about the realities. And I think it worked for me because the kids would stay. Maybe they wouldn't ask it in front of the class, but they would stay after, or they would hand me a note, or they would give me, they'd pull me aside and be like, hey, can we talk about this real quick? What happens about and they would ask like these really intimate questions, and it made me feel good because it's like, you feel comfortable asking me this stuff. I didn't always feel comfortable asking that to my middle school teacher, or sex ed teacher. So let's get back to this. Teenage pregnancies way down. That's huge. But women over 40 are having more babies than ever before. And I want to read you a little bit of what they said on the thing. Since 1990, teen birth rates have declined by 73%. That's massive, 73%, while births among women aged 40 and older have surged by almost double, 193%. In 2023, 4.1% of all births were women over 40, slightly surpassing the 4% of teens. So another reason why I love this is, and look, I may be talking about this and you're going to be like, Vic, what the hell? Shut the hell up. You don't know what you're talking about. But I do feel like this is good news in the sense of there's a lot of, and we've talked about this before, societal pressure for women kind of sucks. They don't deal with the same shit that us guys, like we have more time to do shit. Like if we wanted to, guys could have babies almost like De Niro's 70 plus years old. He just had a kid. Women have things to consider that guys don't. So I feel like, especially in Bakersfield, there's a lot of younger moms. There's a lot of younger people who are doing this. So I almost feel, this is the part where you can tell me to shut the fuck up, and I could be the shut the fuck up of the week. Maybe I'm way out of bounds on this. I feel like there's certain windows that women, whether it's through themselves, family, society, there's certain windows that are placed on them. And what I mean by windows is age windows. You got to have like a baby between 20 and 30. And if you don't, then you miss that window. And it just sucks because think about what that would do. And I put myself in those situations. I'm like, man, if I had some kind of window like that, I know the pressure it would eat me up. Imagine, I'll relate this to my podcast. What if someone, when I started this podcast, said, Vic, you've got 1 year to make this work. You've got 2 years to make this work. You need to have blank downloads and blank this and this and that. And then I'm like, hey, this is going really good, but I don't think I'm going to reach those numbers in 2 years. Although things are going great. And I relate that to what are you doing in your life as a woman? Like, you could have your college degree. You could have a great job. You could be doing a lot of things that are going good in your life, but these windows of opportunity of having a kid or, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. Oh, there's another window. You miss that window. You kind of feel hopeless. And I love the fact that I was going through the comment section because sometimes you get some really great information there. And you know what it was? It kind of warmed my heart on this. It said, like, hey, I'm a mom and I'm 42 years old. I had my first kid. My kid's like 4 months old. Hey, I'm 42. And I'm not saying that it doesn't come with its own different challenges, but it brings hope to anybody who feels like they missed that window. They're like, oh, it's relatable to anybody who doesn't have their kids at the age that they imagined. But that doesn't mean that you can't. That doesn't mean that it's all like gone. Oh, it's never going to happen. It can. And I love that. I hope that this just brings hope and eases a little bit of those societal pressures. If it's like, oh, maybe you're sitting at 33, 34, 35, 36. I think I could say this now. I didn't say it. I almost spilled the beans a few weeks ago with the interview with Dr. Anna Marie, but I'm getting ready to have my third nephew, and so congratulations to my sister Sarah, Hugo, there, and my two little nephews. Couldn't be more excited, right? So there's things that like those windows present that I'm not a fan of, and I feel like women having kids at later stages in life is a good thing, right? If for nothing else, it's more time. Again, I could be way off on this. Maybe I need to shut the fuck up, but I just feel like it's a good thing in general. So that one made me happy. What else do we got here? Talked about Long John Silver's. Men are loyal to their barbers. Yep. Masters. Yep. Women over 40. Yep. In case you didn't know. Yep. Okay, so let me tell you what I did today. We're getting ready to wrap this up, put a bow on this puppy. I'm really happy with this podcast. The content was there was just a lot going on in life. I don't know if it's music. This is another segment we're bringing back. It's called What I'm Bumping, and it's exactly that kind of simple concept. A song that came out earlier this week, one of my favorite bands. I think the purest form of love is when you don't want to like something or someone, and out of just pure, I don't want to like you, I don't want to like you, I don't want to like you. Think about this with like your high school friends. I think some of the closest friendships are like the ones you're like, I hated that bitch. She was such a bitch in high school. And then you actually talked or hung out through some function or some kind of whatever somewhere later in life, and you're like, now that's my closest friend. That's how I felt about Old Dominion. Old Dominion I didn't want to like. I thought they sounded kind of corny. I thought they were copying Sam Hunt's style when it came to music and the kind of the talking, almost not rapping, but like the talking style. And I was like, Sam Hunt's already done that. But then their songwriting is incredible. Then there's like other things that I just love. They came out with, and I'm telling you right now, I don't know if it's music that finds us at times when we're going through stuff, or we just don't pay attention when we're in a different mindset. But they put out a song called Me Most Nights, and it's just a fantastic song. And I ran my best time. I ran 6 miles at a pace of 8:51 last week, And I think it was the day after that came out, and I looped it about 8 times. It was just such a good song. Like the vibes were flowing. I think it was a breezy night. So what I'm bumping, Old Dominion, Me Most Nights, fantastic. I sprinkled a little bit of Kit Moore in there. It's just great for a run. Earlier today, so obviously we're doing a lot of work on this studio. You know, it's funny. I wish you guys could see, like right here. Oh, I decorated as good as I can. We got some plants I went to IKEA last week. Put the plants up, got the, this background up, made it look real pretty back here. Got the light and everything. If you could see what's across from me, it is not good. You're talking about like floors. You got like sunflower seeds. You got paint on the floor. It's actually hilarious. But all you need to focus on is right here, baby. We're going to clean all that stuff up. So I'm enjoying this process. But I was looking for a rug, and some people are shitting on me because they're like, oh, you need to figure out something with the floor. The floor is, again, we talked about it at the beginning of the podcast. I went to go get some degreaser, clean it up a little bit, gonna get a big rug, and I'm shopping for this rug. I hit up like 5 places. I went to Sam's Club, I went to Ross, I went to Home Depot, I went to Walmart, I looked online. I mean, just looking for something. And the craziest part about trying to find a rug, I'm not gonna have trouble finding rugs. Folks, I have no idea what I'm looking for. I have no idea what goes with this. I got plants, I got wood, I got black walls, I can go find rugs anywhere. I can go find as many as I want, but I feel like I have no clue what goes with this. I'm tapping into my gay homies. I'm hitting them up. I'm like, hey, what do you think about this? They're probably sick of me right now because I'm sending them pictures every day. I'm like, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? Which, to their credit, they're responding, and I'm super grateful to have these people in my life that they respond and want to even help, but I have no idea what the hell I'm doing with the rugs. Again, I went out there and I was like, maybe if I see something, that's when I'll know. You know? That's kind of how I started this process. I was like, I don't know what I want this studio to look like. I just know that I'm going to start with something, and then I'm just going to get visions and inspo on TikTok and Instagram, and I'll figure it out along the way. I thought it was going to be the same thing with rugs. Hell no. A straight man looking for rugs is just, we have no game plan. We have no idea what, I can find it, but is it going to look good? I'll be humiliated if I bring in one of the rugs that I saw. I'm so insecure about finding and shopping for rugs that I'd rather just like not buy anything. I'm like, hey, can you make the choice for me? Because I don't know what I'm doing. And the thing that I dread is like, hey guys, just walking in, and then suddenly I have a new rug and someone will walk in, or one of you guys watch the videos on YouTube or on one of the clips or something, or some of the stuff that we're doing just on our socials, and be like, Vic, that rug is freaking hideous. What are you doing? I'm insecure about that. I hate it. Shopping for rugs sucks as a guy. My sister's probably sick of me. Like, my friends are probably sick of me. Like, but I appreciate you guys being in my life and helping me out in these situations. Another quick update on, remember, we got Earth Day coming up April 19th. I know people were looking at the thing that we reposted. It had a different day on there, but it is April 19th. It is a Saturday. It is at Beach Park. Please come out. I ordered the I Love You Say It Back tent already, so it should be in the works, and I love how it's turning out. I'm so excited. And so I hope to see you out there. I could not be more excited about an Earth Day event. Talked about it last time. And it is April 19th, just to confirm that. People, I know I think there was like a little bit of a typo on the caption, but I'm here to confirm April 19th. So we'll see you out there. Free event. Bring the kids. Come out, say hi, and potentially maybe have some merch, which brings me to my next point. Picked up merch last week. Merch is getting embroidered, getting the signs, it's all getting logoed. So we got a new studio. We got new merch. We got hopefully a new rug, new flooring. And I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for putting up with the kind of last week I said this already, but we're sitting on a stepping stool with this wall being white, none of this put up. But again, thank you for putting up with us throughout the process, and I look forward to finishing this up, completing it when I start having guests, and also be on the lookout for our podcast episode next week. First one, landed it, got the message back from him on Instagram, got that confirmed. I'm even going to post the return thing, and it's a big deal to me because it's a product that I love, so I'll keep that. I was going to post about it at that time, but I was like, well, I don't want them to confuse thinking that it's going to be this week or that comes out, but it's going to be next week. So next episode, stick around. I'll tell you what that is, and I look forward to it so much. Again, like, subscribe, share, review it, rate it. Tell your friends, tell your family, please. We are growing, and I think the hardest part is to get from like 1 download to like 20 downloads, but then you get to 20 and then you get to 40 and then it's like you get to 100 and then it's easier to like, well, now I got 100 people talking about it instead of just the 20. So I feel like the growth is going to happen organically, and thank you for doing your part. Subscribe to everything. Follow us on socials at ILYSayItBackPod. I got to get back to it. We got a long night ahead of us. I love you. Say it back. Thank you so much. I'm trying to think. There was other things that I needed to say. The rug, boom, 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 boom. There's one more topic we'll move that. Enjoy the Masters. Enjoy your Masters dinner. Think about what you would eat. I love you. Say it back. It's a podcast. Y'all have a great night. Sleep good. Cosen con los angelitos. Love ya.